so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. It's so frustrating. And I really hope that we can do this because I'm not sure why the network is being sketchy tonight. Um, I love you too. I love you too. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would not take so much of your time. I would just go straight to why we are here. Like I told you earlier on, we are going to be speaking on real estate, something that is going to further our lives for the better. Okay, something that will further our lives for the better. And I think that is something that we young people are supposed to be imbibing. you know um, Growing up as a child, I grew up in the family where or where in the community where owning a land was a big deal. Owning properties was a big deal. Back then in Port Harcourt, anybody, any girl, any that's the kind of community that I came from. We love lands, and that's why I am so keen on getting.
How are you,
Hi,
Tonto? Good to
good
see you.
afternoon, Mr. Stephanie.
I don't know
I'm
what's
fine, thank
going on.
you. I'm fine, thank you. I'm so sorry. I am not sure what is going on. Please help me on the line. I'm not sure what is going on. It's just
Even my,
going.
my own
So
account,
sorry.
funny enough,
So
my
sorry.
account cannot see you. Whenever I check it, that's why we have to go with
Yes,
it. That's why
I can't even
I
see
have to go
you.
with the company's
I can't
account. I don't know, it's
even see
strange.
you.
Each time I tap your handle, it's just saying network issue or doesn't exist. It's
The message
strange,
was sent
but
to you.
good to be here.
Oh,
Well done. How are you doing today?
thank you very much. I'm very fine. I'm very
Great,
fine. How are you
great. God
doing?
is good.
Thank you very much for joining me on this live. I am really keen on picking your brains and getting to understand why real estate, the meaning of investing in real estate, because I am from I will call myself the Gen Zs, the new millennium. And something that I have noticed with my community as an adult or as a growing adult is that we do not invest in properties. We rather would love to buy cars, expensive bags, expensive wares, expensive, luxury, travel the world. But the thing that we don't do is invest in properties. And I thought it was just a very poor representation of the youth. And so I started to dig deep and started to talk to people like your kind, the gurus who are known for the real estate world, and you have done so well in the real estate world. I have read your portfolio, and I think that being here with you, it's just so amazing. So
Thank
thank
you
you
for
very much
having
for
me.
being here. Um, I would not, I would not want to take so much of your time, but can you just tell me about you, sir? Tell me more about Dr. Stephen and your real estate
Well,
journey.
thank you again for having me on your show, and well done on your advocacy about Mohbad's death. And we all can pray that he gets justice. The value for human life is something that I don't think it's just government. Generally, as human beings in Nigeria, we need to review how we value human life. I noticed that
Yes.
countries are rated based on how they value human life. In America, I'm currently in San Francisco. If, God forbid, something happened to me right now, if they need to bring an air ambulance, if they need to bring just for one person, whatever needs to be done just to make sure that I'm kept alive, they will do it. We haven't gotten to that stage in Nigeria where we value human life. So, and I'm happy that people like you who have influence and a lot of followers are putting your voice behind this. And let's hope the young man gets it. So, well done,
Thank you
well done.
very much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
so
that. Thank you so much.
back to the conversation, real estate. So for me, real estate was a very important thing because I grew up having real estate challenge. I remember we used to move every year from one apartment to another because the landlord will increase the rent, and my parents couldn't afford to pay the new increased rent. So I kept changing school. It affected my academics. At some point, my parents were able to, move to a very outskirts. You can call it a village because there was no running water, there was no electricity, where we had to move to. And I was there for years. And so today, when people talk about TV series that were there, we didn't have TV. There was no electricity. So, but growing up again, we struggled with poverty. And my mother died of ovarian cancer. And I remember when she died, because she was our breadwinner.
Oh,
Thank
so
you.
sorry
When
about
she
that.
died, she was our breadwinner. The only place we could stay was a place she bought in Songwater. And she had built a 3-bedroom. And even my best friend that I was staying with before my mother died, they had to let me go. Told me I couldn't stay in the house again. And I look back at how that house, even though I was pissed off that I was in the outskirts, but that was what saved us. We had days we didn't eat for days after my mother had died. She was our breadwinner.
Oh,
But because we had a roof over our head, it helped us in a significant way. And today I look at it and I say to people, the real wealth you have is real estate. Just yesterday, I did a visit to
hmm.
Google campus, the head office in Silicon Valley, and Apple. And my driver is a 69-year-old, he's a white man. And he's worked all his life here in America, all his life. And at 68, the only thing he has that is worth of value was the house he bought for $75,000, 1984. And the value
Wow.
of that property that he bought for $75,000 is now 1 point something million. And he was asking me, he said, can you imagine the
I
value
bet.
after 40 years? And he was asking me, can you advise me? I'm thinking, I'm old. I should sell the house. I use the $1 million to take care of myself. I'm about to die soon. And I told her, I said, it's the right decision. This is the time to sell the house but look at that story. A man had worked over 40 years. He's still driving at 68 as a
Mm,
driver in America. And the only wealth he had, and he has till today, not is 40 years ago. So globally, all over the world, the only legacy you have is the real estate
yeah.
that you procure early. Yes, it's a long-term game, and that's why those of you who are celebrities, sometimes don't value it because it's a long-term game. If Tonto buys a land now somewhere, people can't see it. But if Tonto is wearing the latest designer, come on, she has
Mm, they are
arrived.
going to say it. Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. You're very right. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I've been asked this a lot of times. When I talk to young folks about real estate, and even when I talk to the elderly ones, because I also sell properties once in a while. I do that, and when I go out for marketing, and the question I always ask, or the question I'm always being asked is, as an investor, why real estate? I mean, I know the answer because I'm into real estate. I know the answer, but I would like you to enlighten the public because like I said, we are trying to reach out to not just the established, but even the youths, because the youths have money. They have so much money and they're wasting it on, like you said, the bags, the designers, the cars, just for the show on the now, not for the future. So I would like you to help me answer these questions for the people who are watching. So as an investor, why
Well, a
real estate?
beautiful question. Why real estate? I think so. First of all, the way to measure a man's wealth is through real estate. And this has been the process globally, all over the world, since creation of man. When you look at the Bible, and God said to Abraham, get thee out of your father's house, real estate, to a land I will show you, real estate, right? So every time when God wants to bless anyone, he gives him property, he gives him real estate. It's always been the tool. Even when the world globally, when you measure and say which country is the richest, the first thing is the real estate asset. America is said to be the powerful nation in the world. Why? They are the largest real estate market, over $7 trillion real estate market. So it's based on that real estate that you measure nations, that you measure human beings' value in terms of, okay, how wealthy is a person. And it's also, real estate does four things. And I tell people, number one, is a tool for wealth creation. So when you buy property, it helps you to create wealth. Number two is a tool for wealth management. Number three is a tool for wealth multiplication. So you buy a property for XYZ, no time, it has multiplied to XYZ. Number four, it is a tool for wealth transfer. Unlike many other types of real estate, it is the real estate is the one business that you transfer to the next generation. I just share my mother's story and how if she didn't buy that house, we would have been homeless. So real estate is what you could transfer to the next generation and they can continue to grow from there. And I say this, and why is it important for young people? It's because young people need to know, and I've said this particularly for those of us who are from Africa, we need to know that if a lot of what we are fighting for, we can only do well when, this is the way I put it. I say you can only end racism among Black people. You can't end racism among Black people until you end poverty among Black people, right? So a lot of us complain about racism is actually a class issue. The fact that the white man is your boss, the white man gave you the job, even as African countries, your president is still waiting for, America to send him equipment to fight terrorism, waiting for America to come and invest, waiting for America, waiting for UK. Do you see? There's already, a class issue, even among countries. When countries even rate themselves, it's still the same issue. So until we begin to talk to ourselves about understanding how wealth is created, how we need to begin to invest in assets, in real estate, in gradually building wealth. And if all of us fold our heads and begin to say we're waiting for government, we'll never get there. I'll give you a practical example. I was in Apple campus yesterday, their headquarters, and it was built for about $5 billion. Steve Jobs started the process, but of course he passed on. It was under Tim Cook that they moved to the facility. It housed 12,000 of their staff. $5 billion. It sits on over 100 acres of property. Now, when you go there, this is a private project, not a government project. Private project. $5 billion. How many people got job when they were doing that project? How did that project affect the economy? The employees who got job, work, a whole lot changed by just one private organization doing something. And that's why I say to people oftentimes that real estate is one of the ways we can solve unemployment among our people. It's the way we can change things. We're complaining that young people are into crime, they're into drugs, they're into criminality. When they don't have a job, what else will they do with their time? And so when you invest in real estate, if you're investing with a developer, you've given that developer an opportunity to employ people. You've given that developer an opportunity to change the shape of the city. So this is, for example, downtown San Francisco, right? You can imagine what it
Okay.
went into it to build all of this. And the beauty, the work, the employment that is generated, the business. And that's why even when you look at crime rates are usually lesser in high locations, usually because there are more jobs in those places. You know, even here in San Francisco, because of it's a Bay Area close to Silicon Valley, you look at how it has helped to reduce crime in California, you know, where there's high crime in California, but there's less crime because here in Silicon Valley, once you have a good certificate, you can get a job because of all these tech companies that are all over this place. So it is important to do real estate because one, you make money through it, you multiply your money through it, you kind of you save and sustain your money through it. You also transfer that money to the next generation through it.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. That was really enlightening. That brings me to my third question. Your housing project, what is the uniqueness of your housing
Beautiful.
project?
So, when we started real estate, we had to look at and say what is the unique thing we can bring to the market. And the first thing we did was to start something we call land banking. We're one of the people who made the term land banking popular in Nigeria. And basically, we helped people to understand that look, one of the best ways to make real money is to buy land when it is what we call undeveloped, and you work your way to how
Okay.
it now becomes a developed location and you're making money from it. So when we started real estate, we started building land, we started buying lands in unique locations. For example, we have over 4 estates in Dangote Refinery, and we're targeting the fact that there's a seaport there, there's a free trade zone there, there is a Dangote Refinery itself, and when you own property there, the value goes up. So some of our clients who bought those land from us at 1.5 million, the value is now 30 million in 3-4 years, right? And so what we then say, okay, for our housing, now that we're about starting the housing phase, and building houses, what do we do that is different, that just different from what other people are doing? We decided to say, okay, we're going to do housing that is green, so it's into the future. The whole world is talking about green. And when we say green, people think it's about plants. Plant is part of it, but it's not the core of green. Green is about electricity, energy generally. So when you're using renewable energy as the source of the power in the houses that you're building, you can call it a green estate or a greenhouse, right? And then when we say smart,
Okay.
smart is the fact that the house is automated. So the houses we're building, you can download the app, on your phone, and even if you are not in the house, you can off your air condition, you can off, the devices in the house. You can see what's going on. If your children are, playing rough play, you can just speak to the camera, and then they will hear you, even though you're not in the house, and say, "Hey, stop that nonsense. You get back to this." So
Yeah.
you're looking at a very smart house that, and so we felt we needed to do something different. And so we started the concept of a green and a smart home. So if I'm sure you went to one of our estates, that gate, for example, is an automated
Yes, I
gate.
did.
The showroom, because our staff live there now, all the places they live in, they can play music from one place and the whole building is listening to music. And a lot of it, even though that one is not fully automated, but because automation is also in phases, there's depends on how more automated you want the house to look like. But that's the unique thing we bring to the market, and it's impressive because people are accepting it. People love it. Here in the US and in Dubai, because we operate in Dubai, UK, US, about that yet. Well, in fact, we're about launching in the next couple of months our first green and smart home estate, right, in Dallas, Texas. But the first investment we did in Dubai and in the US were just getting people properties that gives good return on investment. Right now, we have a 20 unit of 3-bedroom townhouse in state of Georgia, not far from Atlanta, Georgia, where we're selling 20 units of 3-bedroom. They are not green and smart, but they're 3-bedroom, good return. We already have tenants there. So you're in Nigeria, you're able to earn foreign, dollars every month. And this is important for parents who have children back in the US and are struggling to change naira to dollar to pay their tuition fee to support their children that are studying here in the US. If you own 2 units, 5 units of apartment, 20 units, and everybody is paying $1,400 every month, right? You have a whole $27,000 to support your children, and you don't need to keep changing naira to dollar now that the whole thing is increasing crazily. Yeah. So, but that's essentially
you have $27,000 and you
exactly,
still
and
own your
the
property.
value keeps
That's
appreciating
amazing.
every day. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. I see that real estate is becoming a very broad industry. So I would like to ask, is there any other real estate opportunities that your company gives?
When you say real estate opportunity, what do you mean by that? When you say real estate opportunity,
Sorry?
do you mean other opportunities for people to invest?
Yeah, because the last time I was at one of the estates, I was told about something about mortgage. I was told about a few other things that the company can help you as an
Okay,
investor
beautiful.
do.
So there are different categories to this. What we try to do is to break our potential customer into like 3. There are those who don't have money at all and are wondering, how do I come into the real estate market? So we tell them you can join our community of property agents. And the good news with us is that you're not just selling property in Nigeria. So if you meet a client that says, oh, I don't believe in Nigeria, I'll never put my money back in Nigeria. Okay, well, we have property in Dubai you can buy. Oh, I don't like Dubai. Well, we have property in the US you can buy. So people can come in and join, we call it the GTEX and Associate program. And we do a lot of trainings, regular training. In fact, last week, Saturday, we have this unique monthly event we do at Ebony, in cinemas. So you watch movie, and then we have speakers who use movies to also talk to you about selling, about strategies of selling real estate and all that. So people can join that. You can just visit gtexandassociate.com or follow that handle on social media, GTEX and Associate. So that's the first one. I believe a lot of people watching this can be part of that because I started as an agent. I didn't have money when I started real estate as well. I started as an agent, and gradually I worked my way to becoming a developer and an investor today. So life is in phases. Men are in sizes. You live your size part-time. And even here in the US, I'm currently doing my US tour. We've done Dallas, we've done New York. I had a lot of speaking during the UN General Assembly. We've done Houston, so I'm in San Francisco. So this Saturday, those watching, if you're in San Francisco, send a DM. Then on Sunday, it's going to be Los Angeles. And then next week, we're doing Maryland and Atlanta, Georgia. Right, so you can send a DM. I host events where I mentor you and share how you can start from where you are. Right, we then have the second category of people who are more of those who have some money and they don't want to own. Hello, can you come back? Come back by 2 p.m. please. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, 2 p.m. All right, thank you. So you then have those who have some money. They don't want to own the property. They just want to get returns on investment. So we call that, what we call a fractional real estate investment. We have a mobile app called GVest. You can go to Android or iOS and download the app. Okay. And you can invest as little as $10,000 $50,000, $100,000, and you co-own a property, and every year you get returns. Now we're not MMM,
Okay.
so it's not your,
Okay.
we're giving you 40%, 100%. Our percentage is from, I think, 14% to about 25% there about every year. Okay, reasonable returns, but backed
Okay.
up by real estate that you can see, you can watch.
Real estate.
So because that's also another thing we need to teach our people. They go for investment where they are promising them ridiculous returns. They then lose all their money. Then they come and say they scam them. But even you use your brain now. How much profit could this person have made to have been able to
Okay.
promise
Yeah.
you this kind of return? So we're talking of something reasonable, well, properly managed. So we have that program. A lot of people come and say, "Oh, I don't want property. I'll give you guys my money. We share profits together." We have that opportunity as well. Then the last one is for those who are now buying the property and say, "Okay, I need mortgage." So we have different mortgage companies we work with, both back in Nigeria, in Dubai, in US as well. There are some properties that we're selling that is just cash buyers we're looking for, and not necessarily those who want to go through the mortgage route. But we have all those opportunity for as many people as possible. It's just a function of what angle and what they're trying to do with us. But yes, we have wide range of opportunities for them in terms of investment. Someone was asking earlier, "Oh, I want to invest in the UK." Just reach out, send a DM to our team and say, "Oh, I want to invest in the UK." They will get back to you as to what are the opportunities. We're not yet in Canada, but we're going to be having an event in partnership with AU.
Somebody's
Yes,
asking
we're
for
not yet
Canada
in
too.
Canada, but I'll be visiting Canada in December, and we have some partnership in the pipeline. So hopefully
Okay.
from next year, I'm sure Canada will come up the line. I mean, our goal is to grow all over the world, but step by step, small, we move.
Yeah, little
Uh,
drops of water makes the ocean. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I would like to ask a very important question, something that almost everybody here on the live would also like to know. Just say I'm a beginner and I want to invest. What is the right steps to take in beginning my real
Beautiful
estate
question.
journey?
Very good question. I think the first step is the knowledge. I've always said to people, invest in the knowledge of any investment before actually putting your money. All this
Hmm.
in the knowledge.
Invest in the in.
Invest in
I
the
love that. Could you
knowledge
say that again,
of the
please?
investment
Invest in the
before
knowledge.
actually investing.
Invest in the
Okay,
knowledge of the
so
investment.
what often happens is
Yes.
people. I mean, and real estate is very capital intensive. So you carry 100 million naira and you want to buy a property and you don't even understand how does property work. What am I buying? What is the return on investment? How does the return work? What is the equity around this area? How do you measure real estate growth? You've never met somebody who is ahead of you in that real estate sector to guide you, except for calling your family just to impress them. And I see this a lot. You see people come out of social media, "My family duped me." But we all know the game you are playing, right? You live in America, you want to show off that you have arrived, you send them $50,000 to go and be buying building for you. At the end of the day, people who have been begging you for $200 you did not send to them. Now you are now sending them $50,000 to
Now you're
build
telling
your
people to,
house.
to build your house.
And
I
at the end
get
of the
it.
day, you come back,
I get
your
it.
cousin or your brother or your father, civil engineer. Is he a real estate developer? Is he, I mean,
Mm.
what was the yardstick that you used to qualify them as the professional to go to? Now, if you want to buy property, the same people, funny enough, will come to America when they want to buy their property in America. They're not calling their cousin in America to ask whether they should buy property. They look for an agent or they look for a developer and they go and buy. So, but when it comes to buying back in Nigeria, you are looking for family members. You are even asking them, how far are you sure? What do you think?
Yeah.
And I think some of it, we need to be honest with ourselves. There's a dimension of trying to show off that I have arrived, you know, and God has finally blessed me, you know, that we're trying to do with people back at home. But generally, get the knowledge. Look for people who are ahead of you in this industry, people who have made it. I always say to people, what makes you qualified to teach me is your results in that field, period. Right? I mean, I studied digital marketing, for example, in the UK. But when it comes to virality, you know, doing things that go viral, I need to come to the school of Tonto DK, right? Right? If I want to do that. So it's the way to pick, you know, who to work with has to be that they have results in those things, not just based on sentiment of that's the person I know or that's the person that is related to me. Do they have results? Have they done this for themselves? Yoruba will say, "Elitoba madasho funi toran lanwo." So before you go into any investment, my advice is get the knowledge. Look for somebody who is in that field. Even if you're not going to buy from him, you know, come and say, sir, can I come for your real estate masterclass? Can I come learn first? When I now understand how the sector works, how the business works, I can ask, okay, this is how much I've saved. And how do I go about it? Even if I don't have the money after the knowledge, and this is the beauty of things, the knowledge will make me to be able to connect with those who have the money, and they will be willing to give me their money because they know I understand the business. I understand how it works. I've been trained. I've been mentored. And for me, that's the first stage to any investment, if, you know, even outside of real estate.
Amazing, amazing. I have just gotten something right now. It's something I've already known, but you just brought it back to me, you know, like a reminder for not just real estate, for my daily life. You know, whatever I am venturing into it, the first thing I dedicate myself into is the knowledge about what I'm entering into. So that's a beautiful one. Thank you very much. Thank you. There are a lot. I'm seeing a lot of people who say they are in the diaspora and they want to be able to connect with you. How can they connect with you? How can they buy your properties? So yes, how can they connect? I know that I have got I got I pinned a number for inquiry here, but I'm very sure they'll want to hear directly from you how they can get through to you, how they can get through to the company. And before you answer that, please, I would like to know, aside from the master class, does GTEx Homes offer consultations to people like, you know, the newcomers, new investors that want, even the old investors, because you can never know too much in real estate. So I mean, once in a while, or obviously every time you want to buy a land, do you have like a consultation for the person or for your client to say, okay, this is a high build area, this is where it's going to sell faster if you want to do it for investment, this is a living area, this is a residential. Do you do that, or do you let your clients just blindly follow their choice?
Question. So yes, in fact, that's the first thing we do. We have a team of what we call them wealth advisors. They've been trained over the years in the organization to understand, you know, the concept around what the customer wants, because you have different people, right? Some investors just want, where can I buy and I'm moving, I want to be living there. You have people who are saying, I don't want to live there, I just want something to be coming in, I just want something that will give good returns. So when you contact the numbers on the street, or you send email to info@GTEx Homes, or you call +234 7014087669, the team will be able to guide you, right? You just be open and you know, with your conversation. This is what I'm trying to do. This is my budget. I oftentimes see people, they will be asking them, what's your budget? They open budget. No. You know, a lot of time people think, and I see people always having this mindset that maybe if I tell them my budget, they will increase the price. There's no such thing, right? The budget just helps people to know what you can be advised to do, right? So, for example, if I'm telling you to come and buy, I have a property in Dubai, is in the World Island, right? In fact, the interior was done by Bentley, the makers of Bentley cars, the entire interior, and it's
Oh,
massive. It's on its own. The World Island in Dubai is like a whole artificial island created in the shape of the map of the world, and this property is $46 million. In fact, there's just one unit left. There are just 10
wow.
of it that was done. Now, if you don't tell me your budget, I can be analyzing and thinking you can afford that. And
That's
then
what
we'll
you
go
can
to,
afford. Yeah.
at the end of the day, you just say, even $1 million I don't have. Right? So it's always good that the conversation with the team you will be talking to, you are open to them. This is my budget. This is what I'm looking for. And this is the goal. I'm hoping that I put in, maybe I buy a land, I leave it for 5 years, the thing will have increased by 3 times, maybe I will sell it. Share with them. They too will give you advice as well. But just send an email. For those of you maybe outside of the US, send a DM or send email to info@gteshome.com. So whether you now want to deal with our US office or UK office or Dubai office, they can then direct that to you once you send the details, right?
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you. I am so elated that you are here and you have actually shared this knowledge with us. God bless you. God bless you, sir. I would not want to take so much of your time. If you have any last words for the youths, you can please just throw it in. Well, if not, that'll
Well,
be it.
I have, in fact, plenty last words. But again, for young people, I want to say that one of the things I've noticed about the world is that 97%, in fact, some data says that 95% of the people in the world are just existing in the world. They do not make things happen.
Mm,
Only 5%
mm,
of people in the world make things happen. And the advice is it's time for young
mm.
people to start thinking of how to make things happen. We all can't
Happen.
fold
Yeah.
our hands, blame governments, blame presidents, blame. Everybody who has a voice, including, Tonto DK that most of you here are following, did that because they have done something, have succeeded in acting, have succeeded in this. You have to pick up your life and build a name. Add something to your name.
Yeah.
Add what to your name.
Absolutely.
How many people have died like chicken,
Absolutely.
right? That nobody
Mm,
even cares about. Remember, the only reason you're all shouting Mobad, Mobad, even your neighbors where you live in Nigeria have died. You didn't care. The only reason you're shouting Mobad is because he has built something. He was an artist who made something great of his life. And so if I'm going to advise all of you watching me,
mm.
make something great of your life. It's
Some,
never easy.
yeah.
There's nobody who has
Mm.
become somebody that has found it easy. We all have scars. Tonto that you're seeing
True.
today have scars. I have,
I'm a
yeah.
battlefield myself.
We all have scars. We've been through a lot in our lives,
Yeah.
and we're not perfect. We're still going through that journey, but we have tried to lift ourselves up and build a name for ourselves. And that's my advice to everybody watching me. Build a name. Build a name. Become someone. Because there's so many battles you cannot even fight as a poor man. Two poor people cannot help
Yeah.
themselves. One must rise to the top
No.
before he can send the rope and help others. For many years being poor in Nigeria, there's so many things I couldn't fight. There are so many battles I couldn't fight. I couldn't even defend myself. Like Yoruba will say, see, always In other words, if your hand has not touched cutlass, you don't ask for the death that killed your father. And my advice to all these young people is let your hand touch cutlass. Cutlass of wealth, cutlass of success, cutlass of a viable career, cutlass of moving yourself from nobody to somebody of
Forward
repute,
to
right?
somebody.
When we get there, I promise you, we will all come together and ask for who killed our father, right? Some of those who are already doing that already, like Tonto, like Yabo Joe, amazing, woman we've worked with as well as a company, right? They have gotten to a level. And that's why you can see their voice are louder. You too walk your way to getting to a level that you can have cutlass and then go ahead and ask, who killed my father? I wrap it there.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We are really honored. I cannot be more grateful. Thank you so much for joining this live. Thank you. Thank you. Back to my people. I hope you have all heard what Dr. Stephen has said. Look, the take home for me today is make something of your name. I know I am King Tonto, but I heard that it sounded like I had made nothing out of my name. It sounded like I was a nobody. So you see, you need inspiration to actually get to your inspiration. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here. If you have any further questions, do not hesitate to contact Dr. Stephen and his team. You can go over to his Instagram page. It's at GTEX Homes. And I have just pinned down one of my comments here for inquiries. Their info at gtexhomes.com. And they have a cell phone number of 070-140-87669. I'll repeat that again. 070-140-87669. That is how to get through to Dr. Stephen and his group, GTEX Homes. For those of you in the diaspora, I will repeat the number again. Now you have to put a +234 701 408669. Thank you very much for being here. I just want us to grow together. When I said my real estate journey, I was just maybe like a year old or 2 years in the industry. And coincidentally, it's actually another colleague of mine that actually, pushed me into it because we just had some crazy money together at that point. And I saw her buying some properties. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She's like, this is how she saves her money. And from there, I just started to buy. And my first land I got was, I think, 500,000. And from there, I just started getting the one of 750,000, from there, 2 million, from there, 10 million, now from there, as the case may be. But you see, my land that I bought for 500,000 naira at Moe, that time, maybe like 17 years or 20 years ago, it has generated so much wealth for me today if I wanted to sell it. So real estate is a generational wealth. It's a wealth that it never depreciates. These glasses, I mean, I know how much I bought it for. If I wore it today and I wanted to sell it again, I could never sell it for the same price that I got it for. Even the Hermes bag, even a Gucci bag or Gucci slippers, or even a Mercedes Benz, or even a Ferrari, even a Lamborghini. Look, there is nothing in this life apart from real estate that you can buy and sell for the same price. Now, real estate is the only thing that you can buy and actually get 100 times your money in just few years to come. So my sisters and brothers, instead of wasting our money in the nightclubs and paying 5 million naira in a nightclub and still owing the nightclub 2 million naira the next day and accumulating that 2 million naira, owing 2 million naira, by the time you see in the end of the year you are owing 20 million to a nightclub and you're paying 20 million. You see, that 20 million could have been used for real estate. And do you know what that would be? That's an asset. That's an asset. That's a money doubling game. So please, I'm very invested in the youth of this country. I am really invested because if we all start up this, it would, like Dr. Stephen was saying, one of the perks of real estate is actually helping your community. And how do you help your community? By job employment, by giving them jobs. And a safe environment is not the one free of. A safe environment is the one that has the community engaged in jobs. Because I mean, like the Bible says, an idle man is the devil's workshop. If you have all of these people, if we come together as youths and have all of these things everywhere and employ the people who we feel like are the destroyers of the society to actually work for us, do you know how much we're pushing the country forward? Well, I'm sure you do know. So I would advise you today, gather every little money you have, and no matter how tiny it is, start saving for your generation. Start investing into your generation. It's one thing I have done for this amazing little chicky boy right here is that I have done him so well, so good by investing for him. My son is richer than me today, as of today. I mean, his value in the next 10 years would be, something that I probably might have never even reached in my lifetime. And that's what we have to do for our children. And that's why I'm advising you. If I'm doing it, you can do it. It's not about the level. It's about planning. It's about dedication. It's about prioritizing what's important to you. And wealth is important to you and me. And that's why we should prioritize it. So thank you very much. Go out there, make you a billionaire, make your children a billionaire, and let's all win together. So sky is so big, we can all exist in it. Nobody has to be left down. I don't have to pull you down to get up. Rather, I want all of us to come up together. And that's why I'm giving you this. I will try and do this every once in a while, maybe not only real estate, but I mean different things so that but I will start with real estate because I really want the youth to get useful and get up and do something. Dr. Steven said something. He said, add value to your name. Amm Tonto. I'm living here and I'm going to look for how to add more value to my life because that word hits me like my life was valueless. And I'm not valueless, So I'm gingered and really